This particular player has been on the rise, getting better and better with every single week since his return to Age of Empires 4. It's time to really start putting him to the test. We hop into Midweek Muster for Wham versus Sort of, and we are going to be kicking off on Cliffside, where we're going to have Lancaster in the hands of the Swede, going up against Shushi. Yeah, interesting matchup, actually. Shushi versus House of Lancaster. Do you just go for a Rax Rush? Apparently so. Makes sense. Cliffside may be one of the best maps in the game for House of Lancaster's opening like this, due to the short distance between the two bases. And Sort of really has been hard on the grind, by the way, guys. I mean, this man has been putting in time. Sort of right now is ranked 6th on the ladder. He has played 422 games. He's 420 blazed it, and he has a 70% win rate. That is remarkable, man. I mean, Season 10, he had in total, I think, about 350 games. So he's already this season so far surpassed. And, yes, thank you. We do have a slight overlap there. Let me get rid of that. But, awkward. Oh, I've been seeing this actually a lot out of Shushi players. China definitely is a little bit weirder on, but for Shushi, because Shushi built an Imperial Official straight away, you don't need to go for gold. So it looks like instead, Wham is just going to prioritize a lot of gathering to get his taxation, and then eventually find his way into the Meditation Garden. Completely devaluing the opening from Sort of. Yeah, it's like it shouldn't even happen, basically. Now, in the olden days, God, is it really that long ago we can call it olden days already? I'm going to. In the previous days, it used to be that when this type of situation happened, you just go and deer shove. Thank God those days are gone. It was a little bit obnoxious just how much value you got from doing Dark Age rushes. There was no punishment for failing them, essentially. But, yeah, deer shoving just not an option now. So instead, Sort of just going to camp some of the resources. Medigarden coming in. It's one of the worst meditation gardens I've seen. Actually, that's not true. I've seen worse, but it's down there. It's going to be 36 food and about 25 wood. No gold is the interesting part. Yeah, why no gold, actually? I mean, is he that bad off on sheep? 12 sheep isn't bad. Then again, he sort of has 19 sheep. So the reason why Wham will be going food over gold here, by the way, is getting the gold doesn't give him pro scouts. So instead he's giving himself a lifeline. But the part I question about this is that when you see spearmen from the enemy, your normal reaction is to go Chug, and Chug does require gold. Lancaster Castle coming through. Really good spawn for Sort of. Gold and stone on top of each other. Yeah, interesting that he leans the Lancaster Castle further north on the gold. Suggests that he's probably thinking about maybe 3 manas fast castle. Or 6 manas into King's College. And we are going to get the archery range. So, Wham. Can afford 1 Chug. 1 whole Chug, which will be enough to resecure the gold. And I like that. Just staying out the village. Like, one big lesson I'll give to people when it comes to playing Shushi in Chinese. Really think about where you want your village to be. You get a limited number of these very efficient houses. But the true value of them isn't just as a house. It's as a garrison spot. So you want to be sticking them where you know your economy is going to have to be. Wham is essentially saying there's a lot of gold gathering to be done in this game. I'm hunkering down here. Yeah, it's less effective if you're up against things like Lancers, because they'll keep coming into raid. So, you know, usually you rely on the village like this when you're building something to counterplay your opponent's attack. Because then you don't need an outpost. You just need a safe spot occasionally. Yeah, and he knows. He knows exactly what's going to be coming behind this. Because it's Lancaster, and they do one thing. On repeat. Every single game. Yeah, let's stop looking at this. It's kind of making us sick, right? The more you watch it, the more you kind of hate it. This is the thing that's just made Lancaster so obnoxious. Is I think it's not just the manas, and this is something that gets slapped on. It's the opening spin and play being so good for this Civ. it naturally puts you on the defensive while they're being greedy. You have to think of this Rax opening into Manas the same way that you thought of English Abbey of Kings 2TC. It is achieving the same objectives. You get an opening aggressive unit, which forces a reaction defensively, which allows you to be greedy. But you know what? If you're sick of certain GPU manufacturers being greedy, do be sure to click that link that just popped up in chat. Go, go, go. You know how this works right now. AMD, giving you the best bang for buck on frames, and by the way, they'll also throw in 5 games for free. Yeah. So, like, this right here, like, this is how many, let's imagine the scouts as a price of, like, GPUs. If I went for Team Green, I could afford this many. If I went for Team Red for the same price, I can afford this many. Wow. 3 times the GPUs. You win. Hobbler coming out is kind of wacky, though. I love this from Sort of. This is cool. We've been seeing a lot more Hobbler presence recently. You know, this is a unit that when the game first came out, when the expansion first released, it was the meme unit. People mock this thing. I know there's a recording of me and Crackety mocking it actively in the playoffs game. For good reason in that one. It was misused. But the way it's being leveraged in Feudal now, and especially with Castley's transitions, has been bloody impressive. Yeah, I think the thing that's very intriguing about Hobbler is normally the biggest challenge when getting Feudal going is the number game. You know, you scale units very slowly. But when you play with Hobbler, the numbers spiral quickly. It's only 90 resources for a unit that moves at 1.88. Why is that so important? Not only does it get the first units in the fight much quicker, because they're fast, it means that these very fragile units otherwise can't easily be caught. Yeah, and it also just provides the situation where you can kind of overwhelm. Like with good micro, you know, having 8 Hobbler versus the same cost in Horseman, it's better to have the Hobbler because let's say you run into a Spearman, you can start microing away the injured. And you essentially, like in a very weird way, kind of have more effective HP in the fight because you're stressing your opponent's ability to micro more. Hobbler. Another cool thing about this, as you're seeing, is by having more units for less money, you're able to be in more locations at once. Sort of already striking in. Looks like he's going to be able to deny one of the scouts as Wham isn't going to drop it. No, he's a little bit distracted right now as there is a spear spam coming into him. Another Hobbler arriving is going to make Wham a little bit hesitant. And the Yeoman edition has taken me by surprise, as I imagine it has also taken Wham. You don't often expect to see Yeoman massing by Lancaster and Feudal. It's really expensive, but really smart here. It counterblocks the Spearman play, but also Yeoman are actually kind of a soft counter into Chug. I say soft because you really have to be on point with the micro, but Yeoman have additional range over Chuganu. In fact, they have 33% more range. Not to mention the difference in movement speed, 1.21 compared to 1.31. So you can kite them indefinitely. The Hobbler. And to answer the question, yes, hobbies do attack quicker. You can see right there, it's 1.5 versus 1.75. So it's definitely nowhere near double speed. But it makes it a bit easier to kind of drift. And I think that's what we've been seeing with the Hobbler more and more. Is people are getting a lot better at like attack move, attack move. Think about what people do with Sapahi when they activate the attack speed. Start step, start step, start step. And it does make sense. Like the biggest weakness of melee with long attack windups is that by the time you've completed your attack, your opponent's moved away. Hobbler have that issue less due to the difference in attack speed. Hobbler. Not able to jump before the outpost gets garrisoned, but these guys, they have the same torch damage as any other unit. So he's going to try to force them out. A bit bold here, but the Spearman over to hang around. Yeoman now sniping, looking for the taxman. That's a high-value kill if sort of finds it. Instead, though, has to address the spears. Still, he's idled out the gold now. Wham! He may have teched up, but he cannot afford much here. Repair crew's going to try to come in. Yeoman are sniping down the last of Chug, but what you need really for sort of is more spears. Lancer defense is on the way from Wham. Once that Lancer comes out, this army will get pushed back. He just keeps trying to burn through, but it's just not working. The other problem here is that Sort of doesn't have the undermesh, so his Hobbler aren't actually as tanky as they should be. First Pulse Guard now arriving. I mean, this is a cool idea by Sort of, but now that there's a Lancer, he knows it. He can't be here. so close as well. It felt like he was close to smashing that timing. Didn't really have time to stop off for siege engineering. Wham should just have the ability to now start intercepting reinforcements, but it can be a little bit tricky on Cliffside, a map that is inherently shorter. And what's up, Halcyon? Thank you very much for the sub, mate. Appreciate you. Welcome back to the Swarm. Remember, guys, get those subs in. Got a busy week full of KPMM. Wouldn't want you to miss any of it. Sordov's getting ready for an age up himself. He's overgathering the gold right now, but it's fine because he's reinvesting. We also have him playing survival techniques deer. I love this. Not crazy about the timing in the game because lances are appearing. But the idea for Sordov is the map is so short that these lances, these Palace Guard, they have to stay at home to defend. Or Wham is going to get dove. So it is risky. It does seem a bit silly in some ways, but his base isn't that far away. He's got Wheelbarrow. And he's the one pressuring. So even if Wham starts to march out, technically Sordov should see it first. He's marching out blind, by the way. Oh, God. Yeah, he got like nothing off of Pro Scouts, right? I think he took 1 deer from over here. And then 2. So Pro Scouts got 3 deer? No, I'm miscounting. He took 1 stack already. Oh, thank goodness. So 10 deer is not too bad, but not crazy. And what? The white tower on the deer. Sort of. What a crazy idea. I mean, I kind of love it. It's going to give him a healthy surge with the food. I mean, it does mean that you're not going to be able to play Knights into Knights efficiently because you won't have the King's College techs. But it gives you a lot of runway with food. And it just plays into this idea that sort of wants to keep starving Wham. Wham, who didn't really have much deer left. I think he's got, what, 2.5 carcasses worth? Maybe 3. Lancers are going to keep sneaking around. Not able to find the gold, though. Tree line. A little bit more at risk because some kills going to be chipped down there. Catches him building the archery ranges. The Seek Shelter also griefing sort of as he runs back into the mess. Has now got some Hobbler Spears arriving. That'll be enough to scare Wham off. Yeah, the one issue for Wham here with these dives, he's lacking undermesh. So he's not really that tanky. Palace Guard, remember, have less armor than standard men at arms. So those dives do hurt. Just look at the way Saul's playing this as well. Just watching everything. Assuming that Wham will soon have to play for some food. Level 2 manners now unlocked. So sort of, he says, well, you need to play for food. You need to scrounge and scrape. I don't. I just build houses. I don't know how that brings food, but it does. I guess we have like those little plant pots you get in your garden, and that's enough. Sure. Another nice thing about having these yeoman leftovers, they're very just hard to catch. A good time waster, and it's allowing him time to switch into crossbows, but love this from Wham. We've got Chuk being queued up. Chuk, a great answer to spears and the crossbows. Not so much if it becomes yeoman again, though. Yeah, I guess my one worry is like, Wham, the idea is cool, but if you're not quick enough with the Chuk transition, remember that sort of is playing a landmark choice that allows him to bulk yeoman out of nowhere. He's got that Shire Levy point for when the manners are spammed. Good raid on the villages, though. Lance is becoming frustrating. I mean, it shows you the weakness of what he done with the White Tower. Yeah, because sort of isn't really leaving much at home to defend. That's where we'll get cleared. Another villager goes down. Deer is once again intercepted, though. And I believe that is Wham. Down to 1 deer left. Yeah, he's drying up fast, man. I mean, the food income is abysmal at this stage. Like, what's the plan here? You don't even have archers, right? Like, you have to gather the gold instead to make up the difference if you want Chug. You don't want a horseman here. Your opponent has spears already. If you farm transition, I think you're just dead as well. I don't know. Sordov's got a really, really good position in this game. I think this is the most starved I've seen Shushi look in quite a while. It wasn't immediate, sure, but, you know, sort of has impressed me with the map control overall. Like, sure, Wham did get a deer stack home, but sort of equalized that with his own, and then has continuously denied the other two. Slow farms? That sounds terrible, Shushi. And there's no way you're going to be better at doing that than the mana spam, right? So, like, if anything for Wham, he needs to try and find something to attack. Sort of now even just playing Knights. We said earlier this was a bad idea, but now it's fine because Wham doesn't have the food to win a heavy cav spam. We'll be able to pull away quickly on the berries. Still. Knight should be able to connect. Good micro there, sort of switches targets, and the Imperial Official doesn't pull away. So minus 200 resources and 2 eco units. The Knights can just walk away from this unhindered. Or they could stand their ground for reasons that don't get disclosed to us. Yeah, he's distracted right now. Spears are going to get shoved off the deer, so it looks like Wham is picking up some goodies, but I mean, technically, couldn't sort of contest this. He moved his whole army north. Oh, man. The timing actually might end up being good. Sort of. I don't think he glimpsed the walls going up, but the army is moving in this direction. Yeah, because Wham needs gold, right? Like, his only gold source is on this back side. So sort of decided to basically steer from blocking food to blocking gold. What is it with sort of in these berries, man? Like, they've been killing him. Good amount of Knights will be able to scare them off here. Even with the Dali horses, it's not a fight that Shushi win. Relic game is slightly edged towards sort of. We've still got 2 neutral-ish relics, I guess you could say, to play around. Wham. We just were talking about food being an issue. The moment he got access to 1 bundle of food, he switches horsemen. Which is a curious choice, because I don't think he has that much food. That's maybe 3 deer. So 10 horsemen worth? He already exhausted the safe berries. They're down to the last scrape, right? He's got like 500 actually. Okay. The Knights on low HP are in again. Shallow Monastery now, so Wham. What? Wait. He's only got 1 relic and he's switching into Yuan. Yeah, so normally, guys, you go Yuan for Pagoda. Is there a world in which he's doing this for the discount? Because we just talked about food being a problematic element. You know, 10% discount is going to get you, like, more horsemen, sure, but you have to build a lot of horsemen for it to make sense for the Yuan discount. Let's just put it like that. Because you just spent, well, not 1,800, ends up being, like, 1,620 or whatever on a Tekka. Of which over half of that was food. He does at least have 2 relics, but it's not full pagoda value. Yeah, freeze the magic number if you're playing pagodas. So we have got mana upgrades coming in, so sort of is going to go for the full 9. I mean, it's going to allow him to maintain this military lead. Like, we're still looking at a game where Wham needs to somehow make a farm transition work. He's done a great job, by the way, of dragging that line down the line. I think gold is a bigger problem now than food. A little bit of a poke. Knights dive in on the other side. Wham doesn't immediately react to it, actually, so ends up losing 2 villages. Maybe even a 3rd. Yeah, 3 go down. Trading on the north, fairly even one in terms of military back and forth, but sort of now building a worker lead and building additional manas to secure himself. And reminder, folks, we are 20 minutes into the game. Sort of has yet to use any of these press to win buttons. Muster the nobles, which will give him a bunch of heavy cav, and Shire Levy available, and there it is. Levy gets selected. He's at 6 yeomen right now. This button is going to 4x the size of that force. Needs to dodge the pain right now, sort of. Gets cut off there. Spearman numbers not big enough to truly scare the horseman yet, as Wham does break off and looks towards the base. Sort of's going to need more spearmen than this. Gets ignored. Wham just looking for worker kills. He wants it in and out. He wants to be fast about it. On the easier said than done. Knights also starting to pin him down a little. And also still raiding. Once again, Wham taking losses on the food. I mean, these horsemen haven't really been as impactful as he'd hoped. And now, it just feels horrible, right? The horseman number's almost getting wiped out as your opponent summons the levy. Yeah, this is just looking like your classic dented Lancaster. Yeoman, spearman to carry them through. The only thing that's really missing now is the synchronized shot, which I imagine will be on his menu soon. Wham's tech lead is going to pull him ahead with... Wait, what? What are you on about? He doesn't really have a tech lead. Like, going castle twice here isn't a tech lead. And also, because it was Shaolin Monastery second, he doesn't really get anything out of that. Like, if it had been the other way around, it makes more sense, because Mountain Academy is an eco inflator. Sora's army just so much bigger. And there it is, queued up. Synchronized shot, just 50 seconds out. And Wham has built into crossbow Chug, both of which will die fast to this. Sort of. Wait, what is that? Little baby farm? We don't have song, right? So there's no granaries. Wham has at least snuck out onto the... Okay, this is just looking weirder and weirder. He's under the boar. Sort of doesn't quite realize, although he should have seen the boar die through the fog. And we do have the nobles. Siege engineering as well. The amount of tech power coming through here is sort of... It's going to have all hands on deck ready to roll. Needs to be careful not to throw away his advantage. Fighting like that is a bad idea. Sing shot's going to be coming through, though, and Wham! With the reaction speed of a dead puppy. Horseman now looking for the backstab, but the spear's been held in reserve. A good initial snipe there by Sword. Needs to be careful about the way he stands his ground here, though. Needs those horseman knights gone so that he can trade out in the range war. We'll be able to scare them away. Not much in the way of cavalry left for Wham, and synchronized shot will be coming off cooldown soon. 15 seconds away. And Wham, he's lobbing up again. He wants to be very careful about how he chases this fight. The synchronized shot is once again available to sort of. And yes, armor does reduce synchronized shot, which is why armored units barely get touched. It's why also, for example, if you look at Siege, synchronized shot is terrible against Siege. So many players forget that and try and use it to kill it. Doesn't work. Good raid with the Demon Lancers, though. Catches fourth. There's a few of them. The farm transition is... I don't want to call this a farm transition, man. I mean, it is, but it's not a true China farm transition. Remember, Wham does not have granaries. Yeah, we got normie farm builds. Trip Sacred Site now locked in for Sword Off. I imagine he's going to get ready to roll again. Where's Song Dynasty? In a Chinese game, I guess. Yeah, it's not often you see Shushi in this type of position. But, you know, after he chose Yuan, he can't really go out of it. I think, like, ideally the way to have done this would have been Song into Yuan. But obviously, if you go Song, you want to use the discount. The reason why Yuan's pretty important is if you think about the amount of units that Wham has built, the discount has actually started to matter. You know, we're talking thousands upon thousands of resources in terms of production. in which he's got a 10% discount off them. Alright, slow down here. I don't know what Wham is thinking with this Chug plan. I think it's more like he's kind of stuck with it and he wants it. Because we already said that Chug get countered hard by Yeoman. Especially now that they got the synchronized shot. Like, the problem for Wham is outside the Horseman, his army is as slow as biologically it can be. Sync shot, bit of a whiff there, sort of. Maybe getting a bit too excited. Thought he had a goal to be shot. Also needs to be careful the way that he micros crossbow plus Yeoman. If you use crossbow with Yeoman, then Chug will catch you. So you want the Yeoman to be the ones just attacking. Like, ideally, you have everything else just walking away. Yeoman sniping. The Knights are sneaking in here, by the way. Yeah, Wham! He reacted with everything on that south side. He thought there was a backup army coming in. It wasn't. It was just the range units. Yeah, he's just caught chasing tail now in his own base. Like, this is nightmare fuel point. You're not getting kills that really matter, right? You're not finding villager kills in response. You're losing villagers. Synchronized shot. Just the one tapper. Sort off with a huge wave of Hoblar being prepped. Are clashing in the center. Catching the reinforcements. Wham! He's committing. There's some spin in here, though. Chug trying to give chase fast. Horseman is stand the ground a little bit too long. The bill hooks does matter. Just one touch will allow the Yeoman to finish them off. And the synchronized shot, it's only one trooper. The rest are on cooldown. So Wham doesn't take the bait, doesn't overreact. Wham. I don't think this is going to be the breaker for him. No, there's barely any ponies left alive. Meanwhile, in his base, there's a huge army rotating. Sort of with the 9 mana. It just feels so far ahead. 3 sacred sites, which are still ticking down, by the way. This army rotation is all the way away from them because the spawn was a tight northern spawn. Yeah, man. We'll be able to scare him off. Wham realizes he's getting finned here. Finned and skinned. Villagers get found as well. The wall's not repaired. Yep. And he tries to run back the other way. Wait, what? Oh, dear Lord. Wham. It's all falling apart. Sort of coming back on the south side again. Synchronized shot! A good hit there. Brings him low on the Hoblar, now uncontested. Remember, Chug knew the worst unit you can build against Hoblar. Hoblar have the perfect armor to reduce you all the way down to a mere 1 damage per strike. Yeah, look at it. 6 ranged armor versus the 7 damage. It doesn't get worse than that. Like, this is Hoblar where they look best. Another sync shot, whoopty freaking doodah, right? Just breakthrough. Another problem here is for Wham, you know, he's trying to use a lot of gold for what he's building. He doesn't have access. GG instead will be called. And you are seeing that correctly. Sort of able to break the Canadian. One of the regular favorites to make it all the way. And if he screws up one more time, if he gets caught off guard by sort of just once more, he'll be out already in the round of 16.